I think that many Sims players will agree with me that getting a new expansion pack for the game is quite exciting and something to look forward. We had a new expansion pack released a couple of weeks ago and it's called Enchanted by Nature. If you're not familiar with that pack, it brings fairies into the game, so we have a new occult sim and it also brings some new skills and some new gameplay features and mechanics, such as balance, imbalance and luck, and we have also ailments. And that is the topic that I'm gonna talk about in this video. All across the social media, all across the forums, you can read that players are really not happy about ailments. If you're not familiar what ailment is, it is a longer term illness that can last 3 days and it can affect your sim quite badly. Not only that they do have a moodlet which is negative when they are ill, but also they have visual signs of being ill, which can disturb quite a lot of players. And that's not everything. Certain ailments can make your sim to light things on fire and also to break things which they are around. Apart from breaking things or setting them on fire, there is another ailment which is called gnome lure. And although it might seem good in the beginning and you'll be surrounded by gnomes at your lot and they will be helpful, they can turn out to be evil and they can break your things, they can set things on fire, and I guarantee you that's not gonna be fun at that moment. Your sim will still have happy moodlet, but you will be surrounded by chaos. So that is not a good thing. And I can see why people are frustrated by this. We have 8 different ailments in the game, and basically the only quick way how you can get rid of them is to visit naturopath, which can get really expensive in case that your sim will experience few ailments in a short period. You can visit naturopath via your sim's phone, but it costs 1,500 simoleons, so you can imagine that if you have a few sims in your household and they all have ailment, it can get really expensive for your funds. And if you're playing some challenge, for example, or your household just doesn't have enough of money, it can get really annoying because there is no other reliable way how to get rid of them quickly. They will go away eventually after 3 days, but during those 3 days, you can really suffer and your sim as well. Many players are complaining that ailments are too frequent, that they experience one ailment after another, and I have to confirm that based on my gameplay, I did have ailments in every single game, literally within a few minutes of playing, and it doesn't really matter if my sim is staying at home or if they are getting in touch with other sims, which is basically a way how you should catch the ailment. It doesn't really matter at this point if your sim stays at home, if they go to work, if they just go to the park and pass by someone who potentially has an ailment. It seems like they develop them on their own, and it really frustrates players. The problem about that is that right now there is no option to actually turn off this feature in the game. Yesterday there was a post released on X by the Sims Direct Communication team that they are looking into this topic because players were complaining about that, and they are coming with the patch which should be released next week, and it should reduce the frequency of ailments up to 75%. At this point, I'm not really sure if this is actual fix, because I think that even if it's gonna be reduced up to 75% of the frequency that they will get it can still get annoying for certain players. If I was in charge how to fix this issue, I would actually add into the game mechanic where would be a slider in a game options where you could set the percentage how much you want your sims to eventually get an ailment. So it could vary anywhere from 0% to 100%. I almost feel it's essential to have an option to turn the ailment off. Why do I want an option to turn off ailments completely? If you saw my previous video where I'm talking about balance, imbalance and luck, there is actually an option in game options that you can turn off these 2 mechanics which came out with Enchanted by Nature pack, And I see no reason why there shouldn't be an option to reduce ailments completely to zero. Some players do want a realistic gameplay, so they don't want to develop ailment which is completely not natural. Some players buy Enchanted by Nature pack only for the build by items, so they don't want to experience this in the game. And I could give you more reasons why some players wouldn't want to have ailments in the game. I think it is a good sign that the Sims team is listening to players and they are reflecting on how people feel about the expansion pack. And at this point, I think if they didn't fix this, sales of Enchanted by Nature would definitely drop. There are still players who are deciding right now if they want to buy Enchanted by Nature pack with the items which come extra if you buy the expansion pack straight after the release for next approximately 6 weeks, I believe, or 5 weeks. So it is really essential that the Sims team is reflecting on what player base is telling about the new expansion pack, because it can definitely put those buyers off. So to wrap this up a little bit, I'm really happy that the patch is coming with the reduction of the ailments frequency, but I feel like it's not gonna be enough for everybody. It will definitely reduce the amount of time that you will have to deal with the ailment, but I personally think they should definitely add an option to turn off ailments completely. I think there should be more ways how you can get rid of ailments at this point, not only to visit naturopath for 1500 simoleons. They should definitely reduce the price for that. And I think they should add an option that you could make like a home remedy if you don't want to have apothecary skill. Because let's be honest, not everybody wants to play with some kind of supernatural style of gameplay. So if they added some home remedies, that would be probably really good. Same like if your Sims gets cold in the game right now and you can treat it with orange juice and with some nap. I feel like ailments should be able to be treated at home, or at least reduce the time instead of spending 3 days and waiting for that to go away. So will this patch fix that players are unhappy about ailments? I'm not 100% sure. I think, as I said before, unless they will add an option to turn off ailments completely, players will still not be happy about that. I would like to hear from you guys. Do you think this gameplay feature is more annoying than actually beneficial for the gameplay? And how would you treat ailments apart from just apothecary skill or naturopath visits? If you made it this far in the video, and if you're not subscribed to my channel, please consider to subscribe. And I hope that I will see you in some of my other videos. Bye!